The twin suns of the Valari battlefield were setting when the princess was carried into the broken shelter. Dust hung in the air and the smell of burned metal still floated around. The soldiers of the Valari Empire moved fast, their faces full of fear. They knew their princess, Ariel Valari, was in danger, and every second they lost could take her farther from life. Ariel's body was light in the arms of the guards, almost too light. Her skin had lost its bright color, now turning pale like cold stone. Her eyes stayed closed and her breathing came in slow, weak gasps. The strange toxin from the enemy weapon was eating through her system, and no medic knew how to stop it. General Kessan, the leader of the escort team, forced himself to stay calm. He was an older Valari with deep blue skin and silver lines running across his face. These lines were a mark of wisdom, yet today he felt helpless. "Set her down gently," he ordered as they placed the princess on a soft pad. Valari medics surrounded her. They scanned her body with glowing medical tools. Their eyes widened as they studied the readings. "The toxin is spreading fast," one medic whispered. "Her body does not recognize it. Our medicines are not working." General Kessan pressed a hand to his forehead. "Keep trying. Reinforcements are on the way." The shelter was quiet except for the soft hum of medical devices and Ariel's faint breaths. Outside, distant rumbles of battle echoed across the horizon. A few minutes later, the sound of engines came from above. A human rescue ship landed behind the shelter, dust blowing in all directions. 3 humans stepped out wearing strong combat suits marked with blue and white colors. They moved with purpose, scanning the area before entering the shelter. The leader was Sergeant Daniel Cross. He was tall, steady, and carried himself like someone who had faced danger many times before. His brown eyes were calm but sharp. His uniform had scratches from past fights, but he stood strong and ready. General Kessan watched the humans approach. Part of him felt unsure. The Valari had only recently made contact with humans, and many in the Empire did not understand them. Some feared them, others respected them. Today, Kessan only hoped they could help. Daniel stepped forward and gave a respectful nod. "We received your distress call. How can we assist?" Kessan pointed toward the princess. "Our ruler's daughter is dying. A toxin from an unknown weapon entered her body. Our medicine cannot stop it." Daniel looked at Ariel for a long moment. Her face was calm but weak, like a candle about to go out. He turned to his team. "Let's run a scan." The humans moved quickly. Their portable scanner released soft blue light that traveled across Ariel's body. After a short pause, the device showed detailed results on its small screen. Daniel frowned. "This toxin is aggressive. It destroys the host cells fast." Kessan stepped closer. "Can your technology remove it?" Daniel shook his head. "No, the toxin is inside her blood now. Only strong immune cells can fight it, and her people don't have the right type." The Valari medics lowered their heads. Some clenched their fists. Hope slipped away from them like sand between fingers. Then the human medic, a woman named Carla, looked at her screen again. "Wait, her body might accept human blood." The shelter became silent. Kessan blinked. "Human blood? That is forbidden by Valari law. Our bodies never mix with other species." Carla spoke gently. "I understand. But this toxin is designed to avoid Valari defenses. Human immune cells might slow it down or even stop it. Her body is weak right now, but she might accept the blood because the toxin is already changing her system." Kessan felt his heart tighten. "If this fails?" Daniel looked him straight in the eyes. "Then she will not survive. I'm being honest with you. This is a risk, but it's also the only chance." The Valari guards whispered among themselves. Their voices carried fear. Some said this could break tradition. Others said tradition would not matter if their princess was gone. Ariel's breathing became weaker. Her chest rose only a little with every breath. Her heartbeat slowed. Daniel stepped closer. "If a blood match is needed, I'll test myself." Carla nodded and took a small sample from Daniel's arm. She placed it into the scanner. The screen lit up. Carla gasped softly. "It's a close match. His blood is strong enough to fight the toxin." General Kessan stared at Daniel like he was something rare. "Why would a human risk this?" Daniel answered without hesitation. "Because someone needs help. That's enough for me." Kessan felt something warm grow in his chest, a feeling he had not expected. Respect. The Valari medics gathered around. "General, we need your decision." "There is no time." Kessan looked at the princess. He remembered her laughter, Her kindness, her dreams for peace between species. He knew what she would say if she could speak. He closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them with resolve. Proceed. The medics prepared their equipment. They placed a line between Daniel and the princess. Daniel removed his armored sleeve and set his arm on the table. He breathed slowly as the process began. The first drop of human blood entered Ariel's body. Her heartbeat spiked, then fell again. Her skin flickered between pale and faint color. Valari medics monitored her closely, fear in their eyes. Daniel winced from the blood loss but kept his voice steady. "How is she?" "She fights," a medic said softly. "Your blood is helping." Minutes passed slowly. Daniel's body grew weaker, but he kept watching Ariel, refusing to rest. Her breathing improved a little. Her fingers moved slightly. Her heartbeat became more stable. Carla looked at Daniel. "You're doing well. Just a bit longer." Daniel nodded, even though his vision was starting to blur. Kessin watched the scene with awe. A human and a Valari linked by blood, fighting a battle inside one fragile body. He never imagined such a day would come. Finally, after a long hour, the medics removed the line and began closing the equipment. Ariel's breathing was stronger now. Her skin color improved. The toxin levels dropped. "She is stable," the lead medic announced. Her body accepted the blood. Relief flooded the shelter. Some Valari bowed their heads. Others whispered prayers of thanks. Daniel leaned back, exhausted but calm. "She's going to make it." Kessin placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "You saved her. Our empire will not forget this." Daniel shook his head gently. "I didn't do it for an empire. I did it because her life mattered." As the sun set completely, leaving only soft blue shadows across the land, the Valari realized something important. This human soldier, simple and quiet, had changed everything with one brave act. Ariel slept peacefully, unaware that her life had been carried back from the edge by the strength of another world. This was only the beginning. The night grew colder as the small shelter turned quiet. Most Valari soldiers waited outside, watching the sky for any sign of danger. Inside, only the soft hum of medical tools filled the space. Daniel Cross lay on a simple bed after the long transfusion, feeling weak but steady. His vision was still a little blurry and his muscles ached, yet he did not complain. At the other side of the shelter, Princess Ariel rested under a soft blue light. Her breathing had become more regular, and the color had slowly returned to her skin. She still did not wake, but her body no longer looked fragile like before. The toxin was losing its strength. Daniel's blood had begun its silent battle inside her veins. Carla checked the readings again. She looked relieved. "Her system is responding better than expected," she said. General Kessin, who had not left the shelter even once, stepped forward. "Is she safe now?" Carla paused. "She is stable, but the risk is not over. Her body accepted the human blood, but there may be changes we do not understand yet. This toxin is unusual." Kessin nodded slowly. He understood the weight of her words. The princess lived, but her future was still uncertain. Daniel pulled himself up with effort. "How long until she wakes?" Carla looked at him with concern. "You need to rest, Sergeant." Daniel shook his head. "I'm fine. Just answer me," Carla sighed. "She might wake in a few hours or a day. Her body is fighting hard right now." General Kessin approached Daniel. "Your courage saved her life. Our people will remember this." Daniel gave a tired half-smile. "Anyone would do the same." Kessin's expression softened as he realized something. "No, not anyone. Most soldiers save their strength for battle. You gave yours for someone you had never met." Daniel did not answer. He looked away, watching Ariel instead. There was something steady in his gaze, something calm. Outside, the Valari camp began to stir with whispers. News spread fast. A human soldier had saved their princess with his own blood. Some Valari felt grateful. Others felt uncertain. Their laws had always warned against mixing with other species. No one knew what the result would be. In the command tent, 2 Valari officers spoke in low voices. "This act may break tradition," one said. "She is alive. That should matter," the other replied. "But what if there are changes? What if she becomes different?" The second officer shook his head. "Different is better than gone." Still, their voices carried worry. Inside the shelter, Carla finished tending to Daniel's arm. "You lost a lot of blood. You should lie down again." Daniel nodded and rested against the wall. His breathing was slow, but he stayed alert. His eyes remained fixed on Ariel. General Kesson watched him with thoughtful silence. Why do humans take risks so easily? You did not know if the blood would harm you. Daniel shrugged gently. When someone needs help, you don't think too much. If you think too long, you lose time. I've learned that on many battlefields. Kesson lowered his gaze. Valari think carefully before each action. We are taught to measure risk to protect our own safety. Daniel replied in a quiet voice. Safety is important, but sometimes you have to step forward first, then worry later. Kesson studied him for a moment, then nodded slowly. He started to understand the human mindset piece by piece. Hours passed. The shelter remained quiet. The sky outside grew darker, filled with distant stars. A cold wind moved through the cracked walls, carrying the scent of dust. Ariel's hand twitched. Carla rushed to her side. She is responding again. Kesson moved closer, hope rising in his chest. Daniel forced himself to stand, leaning on the wall for support. Ariel's breathing deepened. Her eyelids fluttered slightly. Her fingers curled. She looked like someone trying to rise from a very long dream. But suddenly her pulse spiked sharply on the monitor. Carla shouted, "Her system is reacting." Kesson froze. "Is the toxin returning?" Carla read the scanner quickly. "No, this is something else. Her body is adjusting to the new blood. The change is faster than expected." Daniel pushed himself forward. "What do you need?" Carla pointed toward the medical device near Ariel's bed. "I need the stabilizer," she said. Daniel grabbed it and handed it to her. His hands shook from weakness, but he did not stop. Carla connected the stabilizer to the main line. A soft glow surrounded Ariel's body. Her pulse slowly came down, but her temperature rose. "She's fighting again," Carla whispered. Kesson clenched his fists as he watched. Ariel had always been strong in spirit. She had trained in diplomacy, strategy, and leadership from a young age. Her teachers once said she faced stress like a stone wall, but no training could prepare her for this battle inside her body. Daniel watched every movement with sharp eyes. "Is this normal?" Carla shook her head. "No, her body is changing faster than any Valari body should. It's like her system is learning from your blood." Daniel took a slow breath. "What does that mean?" Carla answered carefully. "It means she might become stronger than before, but the change could also confuse her system. We have to guide it slowly." Ariel's body trembled slightly. Then she went still again, breathing deeply. Carla sighed in relief. She is stabilizing again. This spike might happen more times. Daniel frowned. She's a fighter. She won't give up. Kesson felt hope rise inside him. "Yes, she has the strength of our entire line," Daniel added quietly. "And now she has a little of ours too." As dawn approached, Valari reinforcements arrived at the outer camp. With them came the Imperial Healers, a group known for their strict tradition and deep knowledge. When they entered the shelter and saw the princess alive, they paused in shock. Then one of the healers pointed at Daniel. "That human should not be near the princess," he said. General Kesson stepped forward. "He saved her life." "Show respect," the healer frowned. "Mixing blood with an outsider is against the ancient laws. We do not know what this act has caused." Daniel remained silent, letting them speak. Carla explained calmly. Her body needed strong immune cells. Human blood was the only option, the healers whispered among themselves, confused and worried. One healer shook his head. "Our laws warn against mixing because it may lead to unpredictable results." Daniel stepped forward, steady but direct. "Your laws didn't keep her alive." "My blood did." The healer stared at him. His words were simple, but they hit like a weight. Before the argument could grow, Ariel's body moved again. Her eyes opened halfway. Her voice was soft, more like a breath than a sound. "Where am I?" Everyone froze. Kesson rushed to her side. "Princess, you are safe." "You were injured, but you are recovering." Ariel blinked slowly, her vision blurry. She looked around the shelter. Her eyes landed on Daniel. She did not know him, but something about his presence felt steady and warm. "Who is he?" Daniel stepped closer. "A friend. I helped you when you needed it." Ariel did not understand everything yet, but she felt something unusual. Her body felt stronger. Her heartbeat felt deeper. Her senses were sharper. She whispered, "Thank you." Daniel nodded softly. "You're welcome." The healers looked at the princess with wide eyes. Something had changed in her. Something they could not explain. Kessan turned to Daniel, his voice full of respect. Whatever happens next, know this. You gave our princess a new chance at life. Daniel simply replied, let's make sure she keeps it. A new dawn cast soft light on the shelter. The danger was not gone, but hope stood brighter than before. This day marked a turning point for both humans and Valari, though none of them knew just how far this change would go. The morning light gently touched the walls of the shelter as Princess Ariel slowly woke from another long rest. Her body felt different, as if some invisible force had moved through every part of her. Her breathing was steady, her heart strong, and her senses sharper than ever before. She blinked at the bright light, surprised at how clear everything looked. General Kessan stood near her bed, watching closely. He had barely slept, staying alert for any change in her condition. When he saw her open her eyes fully, he allowed himself a deep breath of relief. You are awake, he said softly. Ariel nodded. I feel strange. Carla checked the monitor next to her. Your body is still adapting. The changes started last night and continued through the morning. Ariel looked confused. Changes? Carla looked to Kessan for permission. He gave a small nod. Princess, Carla began, the toxin in your system was too strong for Valari medicine. Your people's immune defenses could not fight it. We had only one option, and it came with many risks. Ariel listened carefully. Her mind was clear, and she wanted to understand everything. Carla continued. Sergeant Daniel Cross donated his blood to you. It was the only way to fight the toxin. Ariel's eyes widened slightly. She looked down at her arm, touching it gently, feeling the warmth of her own pulse. Human blood. Inside me? Kessan stepped closer. It saved your life. Without it, you would not have survived the night. Ariel breathed slowly. Her people had strict traditions about mixing blood with other species. Yet her life still remained because someone ignored those traditions and risked everything. She looked at Daniel, who stood quietly near the wall, watching her with calm eyes. You did this for me, she said softly. Daniel nodded. Yes, you needed help. It was the right thing to do. Ariel studied him closely. For the first time, she noticed the firmness in his posture, the steady way he breathed, the quiet strength he carried. Something in her felt drawn to this calm presence. Thank you, she whispered again, but this time her voice held deeper emotion. Daniel offered a small smile. You're safe now. That's all that matters. As Ariel rested again, the Valari healers gathered in a corner of the shelter, whispering anxiously. They had examined her earlier and were now trying to understand the changes happening inside her. She had more strength than before. Her energy levels were higher than any normal Valari. Even her heartbeat pattern had become slightly different, more stable, more powerful. One healer stepped forward. The princess shows signs of enhanced endurance. This is not typical Valari recovery, another added. Her body accepted the human immune cells faster than we thought possible. It is reshaping her natural defenses. The head healer looked worried. We must study this further. These changes could affect her in ways we cannot predict. General Kessan overheard them and frowned. She's alive. That is what matters now. The healer lowered his head respectfully. Yes, General. But we still must be careful. When Ariel woke again later, she felt more rested. Her thoughts were clearer and her body felt strong. Too strong. She sat up slowly, surprised by how easy it felt. It was almost as if she had trained for months without stopping. She turned toward Daniel, who was sitting beside her bed now. His arm was wrapped with a clean bandage, and he looked tired but steady. You have not rested properly, Ariel said softly. Daniel shrugged. I've had worse days. You should rest, she said with quiet concern. Daniel smiled. I'll be fine. Ariel felt something unusual move through her chest. A warm, gentle feeling. She quickly pushed it aside, focusing on her surroundings. She tried lifting her arm. It felt light, strong. Her fingers moved smoothly. Her senses were sharp. Every sound in the shelter, every footstep, every whisper seemed clearer than before. What is happening to me? She asked. Carla approached with a scanner. Your body is adapting. The human immune cells are stronger. They are giving you more resistance than before. Ariel frowned slightly. Will this change me? Carla hesitated. Maybe a little, but not in a harmful way. Your body is becoming stronger. General Kessan stepped closer. Princess, you must understand. You survived because of the human blood. This change cannot be undone, Ariel nodded. She felt no fear, only curiosity. Later that day, Ariel asked to walk outside. The healers hesitated, but she insisted. Kessan finally agreed as long as she remained within the camp. Daniel walked beside her, ready to support her if she needed help. But she did not. Her steps were steady. Her posture was calm. She walked as if she had never been weak. The Valari soldiers turned their heads as she passed. Some bowed, some stared with awe. Others whispered in surprise, "That is the princess. She is standing. She looks stronger than before. Is it true? Human blood saved her?" Ariel's ears caught every whisper, even from far away. She looked at Daniel. "Do humans always give so much of themselves?" she asked. Daniel answered quietly. "Not always. But many try to help when they can. It's what we're taught. You protect those who need protection. You step forward even when the risk is high." Ariel looked at the sky for a long moment. "My people fear risks. We measure everything before deciding." Daniel nodded. "Thinking is good, but sometimes quick actions are needed." Ariel smiled slightly. "I see that now." As the day passed, Valari scientists arrived at the camp. They carried old records with them, ancient scrolls and digital tablets from the Empire's oldest history. They met with General Kessan, Daniel, and the healers. One scientist spoke first. "We found something important. Something old. Something our people forgot." Kessan raised an eyebrow. "Speak." The scientist placed an ancient scroll on the table. "Long ago, before the Valari Empire existed, our ancestors met a species that lived on a very harsh world. A world full of storms, strong beasts, and dangerous landscapes. Those beings had strong immunity, strong muscles, strong hearts." Daniel remained quiet, waiting. The scientist looked at him. Those beings were early humans. Everyone in the shelter fell silent. Another scientist continued. "The old records describe humans as survivors. Their world forced them to grow strong. Their bodies adapted every time nature challenged them." Carla looked surprised. "Then human blood has always been this strong?" "Yes," the scientist replied. "Your blood is built to protect and fight fast. That is why the princess survived." Ariel listened calmly. She felt no fear, only clarity. The truth explained the strength she now felt in her body. General Kessan closed his eyes. "So the answer was in our forgotten history." Ariel looked at Daniel. "Your people helped us long ago, and now again today." Daniel lowered his head slightly. "We don't always get things right, but we try." Ariel studied him with soft eyes. "You gave me a chance to live. I will not forget that." The scientists continued studying the changes in her body. She remained calm and still while they worked, but Daniel watched quietly from the side, ready to step in if needed. The more they scanned her, the clearer something became. Her energy levels were rising, not falling. Her body was healing faster than any Valari body ever recorded. Carla finally stepped back. "Princess, your body is gaining new strength. This may be the start of something bigger." Ariel looked thoughtful. "Maybe this is not a problem. Maybe this is a gift." Daniel nodded. "You're adapting. That's a sign of strength." Ariel gave him a gentle, steady look. "Then perhaps I am learning something from you." Her voice held warmth, calm, gratitude. Outside the shelter, the evening sun dipped behind the hills, casting long shadows across the camp. The Valari soldiers prepared for the next day without knowing that their princess was becoming something new, something stronger than before. And Daniel, the human warrior, remained at her side, unaware that his single act of courage had already begun shaping the future of two worlds. The alien princess, Liara, had begun to recover from her near-fatal injury thanks to the human warrior, Kale. Her breathing was steady now, and her eyes, once dim with pain, shone with a fragile light. Kale stayed close, ever watchful, his armor still smeared with the marks of the battlefield. The air in the chamber was heavy with the scent of alien herbs and the faint metallic tang of the healing devices, but Kale hardly noticed. His focus remained entirely on Liara. The palace around them was eerily quiet. The usual hum of alien life had disappeared, replaced by silence that felt almost sacred. Servants moved cautiously, their long limbs gliding across the polished floors as if they feared disturbing something delicate. Kale had been hailed as a hero in the first moments after saving her life, but the gratitude in Liara's gaze was far more important to him than any ceremony. He had saved many lives before, yet none had felt this personal, this weighty. Liara tried to sit up, and Kale gently pressed a hand against her shoulder. "Rest," he said softly. "You're not ready yet." She looked at him, her violet eyes wide with curiosity and something more, an emotion Kale could not yet name. "Your blood. It saved me," she whispered. How is this possible?" Kale shrugged, trying to sound casual, but his voice carried a quiet pride. "Humans have strong blood. It carries more than just cells. It carries resilience, life. It's rare to see it work like this, but I'm glad it did." Liara's gaze lingered on him. She reached out, her delicate hand brushing his armor. The gesture was small, but to Kale it felt monumental. "I owe you my life," she said. "I do not know how I can ever repay you." Kyle smiled faintly. "You don't owe me anything, I just couldn't let you die." He paused, searching for words. "That's what we humans do." Her lips curved into a soft, shy smile. "I have heard of human courage, but to risk your own life for me, it is more than courage. It is unusual." Before Kale could respond, the chamber doors burst open. Two of Liara's guards rushed in, their weapons raised. They had not expected Kale to remain unarmed beside the princess. "Intruders! There are invaders approaching the palace," one shouted. Kyle's hand instinctively went to his weapon, but he kept his stance calm, blocking any panic from showing. "Where?" he asked, scanning the large chamber with sharp, trained eyes. "They are in the outer courtyard. They came from the northern gate," the guard replied. "We cannot hold them alone." Liara's eyes widened with fear, and Kale's heart tightened. He had barely saved her life, and now danger threatened her once again. "Stay here," he ordered, his voice firm. "I will handle this." Liara's hand gripped his arm, surprisingly strong for someone who had been so weak moments before. "No," she insisted. "I will not hide while you face them alone. We face danger together." Kale looked into her eyes and saw determination that mirrored his own. It was rare for humans to encounter such raw bravery in an alien being, and it struck him deeply. He nodded. "Very well. Then we face them together." The two of them moved quickly to the balcony overlooking the courtyard. Below, alien mercenaries and raiders had gathered, their numbers far greater than expected. Kale's tactical mind calculated the odds instantly. They were outnumbered, but he knew strategy, terrain, and precise strikes could give them an advantage. Liara's eyes widened as she watched him analyze the battlefield. "You fight like a human warrior," she said in awe. "I have heard of your species' strength, but this is beyond stories," Kale smirked. "You'll see. Humans make the impossible seem easy, until you're the one fighting us." Liara felt a thrill of admiration and fear at the same time. She had never witnessed a human in battle, and now, standing beside one, she felt the pulse of life and courage that seemed to radiate from Kale. "Then I will fight too," she said. Kale turned to her, alarmed. "You are injured. You cannot fight now." "I am healed enough to stand," she insisted. "Your blood has given me life, and I will not squander it hiding. If you fight, I fight too." Kale saw the fire in her eyes, the resolve that refused to bow. He nodded reluctantly. "Then we fight together." They descended from the balcony and entered the courtyard, Kyle leading the charge. The invaders had begun their assault on the palace gates, but Kale and Liara moved as a unit. Their movements synchronized in a way that surprised even the seasoned guards around them. Kale's strength and precision were unmatched, but Liara's agility and new vigor, fueled by his blood, allowed her to evade strikes and counter with unexpected ferocity. The courtyard erupted into chaos. Kale fought with disciplined efficiency, striking and parrying with movements honed from years of combat. Liara, newly energized, mirrored his rhythm, her strikes precise and lethal. They became a whirlwind of strength and grace, an unstoppable force that even the invaders could not anticipate. The palace guards rallied around them, inspired by the unlikely alliance. Where there had been fear, there was now courage, and the tide of battle began to shift. One by one, the invaders fell or fled, unable to withstand the combined might of human warrior and alien princess. After what felt like hours, the courtyard fell silent. The invaders had retreated, leaving behind only the scars of battle and the echoes of their defeat. Kale and Liara stood together, breathing heavily, their armor and clothes torn, their bodies marked by the struggle. But the light in their eyes was stronger than ever. Liara turned to Kale, a mixture of gratitude and amazement on her face. "Your blood, it gave me life. But your courage, Your skill? It gave me hope. Kale shook his head. No, you gave yourself hope. I only helped you see it. For a moment they stood in silence, the weight of their shared experience settling between them. Then Liara reached for his hand, holding it with a gentle strength that belied her small frame. You are no ordinary human, she said softly. You are a part of my story now. I do not know where it will lead, but I know it will be extraordinary. Kale looked at her, a quiet smile on his face. I do not know where this path will lead either. But as long as I walk it with you, I am ready for anything. As the sun set over the palace, casting golden light across the courtyard, the two of them stood side by side, a human warrior and an alien princess, bound not by duty or obligation but by trust, respect, and the unspoken understanding that together they could face anything the universe might throw at them. But the quiet after the battle was deceptive. From the shadows of the distant mountains, new eyes watched, calculating and patient. They had seen the human and the princess, had seen the impossible, the warrior who could save a life and fight a battlefield. And they would not forget. The next challenge was coming, one far greater than any human or alien had faced before. Kale and Liara would need to rely not only on strength and courage, but on the bond that had begun in the quiet of the palace chamber and had been forged in the fires of battle, and neither of them could imagine what the universe had in store next. The palace was quiet once more, but the calm felt fragile. Kale and Liara had survived the first wave of attackers, but both knew it was only the beginning. The invaders were not ordinary raiders. They were a coalition of hostile clans united by greed and ambition, and they had witnessed something they had never seen before. A human who could not only survive alien battles, but inspire hope in the hearts of those around him. Kyle paced the balcony of the palace, scanning the horizon. The sunset painted the alien sky with streaks of orange and violet, and yet in the distance tiny specks of movement could be seen. Scouts sent to spy on the palace, reporting back to their masters. Kale's mind calculated the possibilities, each scenario more dangerous than the last. Liara stepped beside him, her hand brushing against his. Kale, do you think they will return? She asked, her voice calm but tinged with worry. They will, Kale said without hesitation. But this time we will be ready. You are strong now, Liara, stronger than you know, and together, we are more than they expect. Her violet eyes met his, and a flicker of awe passed through them. Your blood, it did more than save me. It awakened something inside. I feel it, strength, clarity, purpose. I can fight. I can protect what is mine. Kyle nodded, impressed by her resolve. Then we train. We prepare. And when they come, we fight not just for survival, but for victory. The next days passed in a blur of preparation. Kale taught the palace guards new tactics, combining human ingenuity with alien martial traditions. Liara trained alongside him, mastering moves that were instinctive to Kale but alien to her species. Slowly, she became a warrior in her own right, moving with precision, confidence, and a new sense of power that radiated from her very being. Word of Kale's bravery spread quickly across the alien worlds. Ambassadors from neighboring planets came to witness the human who had saved a princess and repelled invaders with astonishing skill. Some were curious, some cautious, and some openly envious, but all left with a single thought. Humans were not to be underestimated. One evening, as Kyle and Liara walked along the palace gardens, the air heavy with the scent of alien flowers, Liara spoke softly. Kale, I have been thinking. The blood you gave me? It is extraordinary. It is more than life. It is a gift. Kale glanced at her, curious. A gift? Yes, she said, stopping to look at him fully. It connects us. I feel it in my strength, in my clarity, even in my thoughts. It is as if a part of you is now a part of me. Kale's breath caught. He had never expected this. The bond was stronger than he imagined, deeper than mere gratitude. I didn't know it would do that, he admitted. I just wanted you to survive. But it did more than that, Liara whispered, stepping closer. It has changed everything. I am stronger, wiser, and I see things I could not before. I see you, Kale. I see the human spirit, and it is beautiful. Kale felt a warmth spread through him, a mixture of pride, admiration, and something more personal, more intimate than he had ever known. Liara, I have fought many battles, seen many worlds, but none have mattered as much as this one. None have made me feel alive like this. She smiled, and it was a smile that seemed to light up the alien sky. Then we will face what comes together. Not as princess and warrior, not as human and alien, but as allies, as equals, as friends, perhaps even more. Their conversation was cut short by the sudden warning klaxons of the palace. Scouts had spotted a massive fleet approaching from the northern quadrant. Cale's eyes narrowed. These were not mere raiders this time. They were a coordinated armada, their ships bristling with weapons, their numbers far exceeding anything the palace defenses could handle alone. Liara's grip tightened on Cale's arm. "We are ready, aren't we?" she asked. Cale nodded. "We are, and we will not fail." The following hours were tense. The palace's defense systems hummed to life, energy shields shimmering around the walls. Cale and Liara moved among the troops, instilling confidence and coordinating strategies. Every maneuver, every formation was designed to turn the tide despite the overwhelming odds. When the enemy fleet arrived, the battle began in earnest. Massive energy blasts tore through the skies, lighting the alien world with fire and sparks. Kyle fought with precision, his human reflexes allowing him to counter strikes that would have overwhelmed any alien warrior. Liara moved beside him, her newly awakened strength turning her into a formidable opponent. Together they were a force that even the invaders had not anticipated. The tide of battle shifted slowly but surely. Cale's tactics were unorthodox, combining human ingenuity with alien methods, and Liara's skill amplified their effect. The invaders, confident in their numbers, began to falter under the unexpected resistance. Amid the chaos, Cale noticed a squadron attempting to bypass the main defenses and strike directly at Liara. Without hesitation, he moved to intercept them. Liara followed, her movements fluid and precise, striking down enemies with a combination of agility and strength. The two of them fought as one, their bond evident in every coordinated movement, every synchronized attack. Hours passed, and by the time the dust settled, the invaders had been repelled. Their fleet retreated, leaving behind a field of wreckage and silence. Cale and Liara stood together on the palace balcony, surveying the aftermath. Liara turned to him, her face radiant despite the battle. "You saved not just my life, Kyle. You saved my people, my home, my world. I cannot thank you enough." Kyle shook his head, smiling faintly. "It was not just me. You fought bravely too. Your strength, your courage, it was what turned the battle." She stepped closer, her hand brushing his once more. "Cale, the bond between us. It is more than life, more than blood. It is a connection that cannot be broken. I wish you would stay by my side, not just as a warrior, but as a part of my life." Cale felt his heart tighten. He had fought countless battles, faced unimaginable dangers, yet this moment, this quiet admission, felt like the greatest victory. "Liara, I would stand by you always, not as a protector alone, but as something more, as someone who belongs by your side." The alien princess smiled, a mixture of relief and joy in her eyes. "Then let us face the universe together, Cale, as equals, as partners, as something more." In the days that followed, Cale and Liara's bond became known across the stars. Humans and aliens alike marveled at the unity between them. The courage of a human who could save an alien princess, and the strength of a princess who could rise beyond her limits. They became symbols of hope, unity, and the extraordinary potential of life when courage, trust, and connection converged. The universe was vast, filled with dangers and mysteries yet to come. But Cale and Liara were ready. Together they faced new challenges with confidence, wisdom, and the unbreakable bond forged by blood, bravery, and shared experience. And somewhere, beyond the stars, those who had once sought to destroy them paused, wary, for they had learned a lesson they would never forget. When humans and their allies stand together, the impossible becomes possible. And the universe itself takes notice. As Kyle and Liara looked out over the alien horizon hand in hand, they knew that their story was only beginning. The battles ahead would be fierce, the threats unimaginable, but they would face them together. And nothing, not armies, not stars, not time itself, could break the bond that had begun when a human warrior donated his blood to save a dying alien princess. For life, courage, and unity had triumphed. And the galaxy would remember,